welcome back to another episode of the Tactical Show. Got another new knife for you, another 2015 model Schf 34 from Schrade. It's very similar to the 35 I just recently tested, but this one's a Tonto point instead. Everything else is pretty much the same. Same kind of, I'm not sure if it's Kydex, but it's close, some kind of injected molded plastic or something. No rattle, just like the other one. The the belt loop is reversible, which is always nice, so gotta hook the lefties up as well, right? Comes out super easy, little push off there. And now you can see the blade itself. Some kind of, it's like a modified Tonto point with a partial hollow grind. But it is very similar to the 35. Personally, I haven't tested it, but just the shape, I like that one better. But it's cool because, you know, some people like Tonto points. So at least they're trying to make something for everybody. So that's cool to see. Full tang construction. Got some good jimp in there. The handle shape is pretty much identical. The tang protrudes from the handle scales, G10 handle scales. There's your lanyard hole. And man, I don't know the measurement, but I think this is 3/16. If not, it's like just under, but I'm thinking that's what it is. Nice finger choil with a little hilt. Stop you from going forward. Nice stone wash finish. You know, I like the stone wash. It just resists getting beat up that much quicker. Well, at least it hides it better. But not a bad knife. Overall length, this one's actually a hair smaller than the 35. It's about 8 inches overall, and the blade length is 3 1/4. Again, the weight, I'm not sure, because there's no specs on this. All these specs, I'm just measuring it and, you know, figuring this stuff out myself. But I'm guessing 6 to 8 ounces. And the steel is 8CR13 MOV. Just to give you a side-by-side. I mean, it's just like a 1/4 of an inch shorter. As always, first we'll test the initial sharpness, see how that goes. It feels pretty decent. And to tell the truth, earlier I was cutting paper with it, so I know it's pretty sharp, but that's all I've done with it. So now for the real test. Test it out on some wood. I think this curve is actually going to do a pretty damn good job. I'll try to get some really fine ones. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll even test down here on the Tonto point. Get some nice little curly cues. Okay, now we'll try digging in. As usual, I'll just do it in all different spots. You know, make sure the sharpness is consistent. Seems pretty decent. Now I'll try digging in with the Tonto point, try burying it a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. This is kind of a thick little piece of wood I got here, so. But she's digging in nicely. Oh yeah, so the sharpness is there. Now we'll try some thrusting stabs. Now I know from the last one, the handle did pretty well. But just for testing's sake, we'll do this one too. So far so good, no hot spots yet. Like I said, a little on the other knife, a little bit before, just a little bit you feel that jimping. But, you know, I'd rather have it hurt a little, that way it's working. Because, man, if this is just totally smooth, you don't want this thing flying out your hand. So I'd rather feel it a little bit. But stabbing pretty good. And just to check the bevel. Now on the 35 it was perfect. This one is just a hair off. If you look at the, I don't know if I can get you to see it. I mean, it's super close. The bevel is just a tiny bit off. But not too bad. Now I'll try a little bit of chopping with it. Yes, it's too small, but we're doing it anyway. So here we go. I gotta get it so you guys can like see what's going on, so you can see the action. You know, not bad for such a little friggin' fixed blade. It does kind of chop pretty good. And maybe it's that how the curve is with that sub point. And the handle feels good. No hot spots yet. But not bad. Now for some hammer stabs. See how this goes. One thing about Tonto points, they always seem like they stab pretty darn good. That's sinking in pretty well. It's funny, I'm trying to watch on the camera to make sure I'm in the picture, but I'm trying to stab at the same time, so I'm trying to look at what I'm doing. Man, I need a cameraman. But this hilt with the choil is definitely holding me in very well. Feel very secure. Hand is not sliding forward at all. I'm stabbing it kind of hard, so not too bad. Now I'm going to do some strikes with the pommel. Just because, you know. And same thing, the hand is very secured. It's not slipping. A little bit, but I mean just a tiny bit. But as soon as I do, that choil's catching my pointer finger. So it's keeping me in there. Just gonna do a couple chops on this piece of lumber right here. See what it does. Wow, I'm gonna aim for that too. You can just see how that sinks right in. Again, no hot spots. I'll even work my way up a little bit. Yeah, you can feel the difference though. It definitely doesn't bite in. You're getting that much more leverage, and that sub tip really digs right in. Ooh, that's a knot. But hey, that's a good test. I'll even hit it purposely. See if we get any chipping or anything. Doing pretty good. Just do a couple more stabs. Well, working pretty darn well. Okay, this knife is, you can see the diameter of that, so we ain't got a whole lot to work with, do we? Probably just the tip. Actually, yeah, by the looks of this. But hey, we're gonna do it anyways. Let's do it. See how she batons. Problemo. Alright, that's good to see. Makes me happy. Now, the G10 handle scales, you know, since I tested the other knife and this handle's the same, I already know barehanded it's good. I'm kind of hitting this stupid frickin' thing right there. Maybe I'll do it like this. Be a little bit easier on me. Wow, yeah, this knife is like almost too small to do this piece, but that's okay. That means I'm going to put more emphasis on the point, and we'll see if it breaks easy. It is very stout though. If you look at the tip, I don't know if that'll focus, but see how stout that is until you get to the where it bevels down. So they should take it. And we got a big old knot coming up. Here we go. You guys can look for yourself. Perfect. And that's another thing. I love the stone wash because look at it. It doesn't even look like I really used the darn thing. So the finish held up well. So that went pretty decent. Pretty much just the same as the SCHF 34, or 35, excuse me. This is the 34. I do like the 35 a little bit better just because I'm not really into Tonto points, but a lot of people are, and it did actually work very well. The 8CR13 MOV held up good, hit a couple big knots, and you see how big that piece was. This was barely big enough to even frickin' do it, and it did it. G10 handle scales are definitely good traction. definitely well done. I like how they did those little raised portions. You can see a little bit of traction. I like these funky bolts too. I don't know what you call these, but they seem pretty beefy. And so far they're holding up quite well. You know, handle scales are still on there tight. And I was hitting it a couple times, especially when I was doing this and sinking it in the wood, and the G10 held up good. I love G10. It's good stuff. So I would definitely recommend this little guy. Rate it 1 to 10. I'd have to rate it pretty much the same as I did the 35. You know, to be fair, just because I don't like a Tonto point, you might, and it worked just as well. So I got to give it a solid 7, and I would recommend it. Thanks for stopping by, checking out this quick test review, and until the next time we meet.